welcome to the News Hour. I'm your anchor, Jay Stoyan, and it's a beautiful Friday afternoon down here in Toronto, Canada. Actually, we're down here at Bathurst College at our new studio just in Little Italy, and we're loving it. The neighborhood's great, our staff is great. I just want to take a little bit of the time, but before I do that, we have a very special show today as we have on the leader from the Ontario Green Party, Mike Schreiner. He's going to be joining us after our first break, and we're going to be talking policy, disabilities, and positivity throughout the community of Ontario and Canada. So we're very excited. Before we do introduce Mike after our first break, I just have a couple things to share. Again, we're here at our new studio, downtown Toronto, College and Bathurst. We've moved from Bay Street, so we've expanded our platform. You can check us out on Roku TV. It's a global US digital platform available here in Canada and worldwide. So again, that's Roku TV, a free subscription. You can also go to our website as we're streaming right now. And I want to thank all of our Twitter followers, from Deborah to Antonio to our team, Jeff out in BC, just to the rest of the guys, Cynthia. Thank you so much for helping us. Again, we're streamed live on www.thedisabilitychannel.ca. Before we do go to break, I just want to share some of my own personal feelings. For the last couple weeks now, I've been very ill. So as you can see, if you're looking at me, I hope I don't scare people on the camera, as I have lost some drastic weight, about 20 pounds over the last 2 weeks. So again, this is my first show out of the new studio. So I hope everybody tunes in. We're going to be talking policies, disability awareness, and then we're going to blend it in with Mike. We're going to talk about life in general. So please do stay tuned. Again, join us live, thedisabilitychannel.ca, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes with our special guest, Mike Schreiner from the Ontario Green Party. So stay tuned.
Finally, I figured it out. 3 strategic zippers, 2 on both sides, but rolled forward a bit so the person is not rolling on a zipper or a zipper head. And the 3rd zipper from the interior knee all the way up through the inseam down to the other interior knee.
My grandson used to have terrible posture when he played his video games. So I started using the ab collar as a training tool to teach him how he is supposed to sit while playing his games. And now he sits up straight. But it's time to train his friends. And the best part is, now my grandson is doing the training.
Welcome back to the News Hour. Again, I'm your anchor, Jay Stoyan. We're joined at the table by the Ontario Green Party leader, Mike Schreiner. Mike, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, Jay, it's a pleasure to be here, and congratulations on your new studio.
Oh, thanks very much. We're very excited, but we're really excited about having you in the studio today just to continue our monthly segment. So why don't I
Great.
just set it up for our viewers? So Mike comes in on a monthly basis and he gives us updates regarding the Ontario Green Party and just what's going on throughout, I guess, the political system in Ontario and all the positive things. So Mike, why don't you share with us what you have to tell us today, please?
Yeah, so this was a really important week, I think, because yesterday the Ontario government released Hugh Siegel's report on the province's pilot projects around basic annual income. And for the Green Party, this is an issue we've been pushing for a long time. That a guaranteed annual income or a basic annual income is the most effective and efficient way to address poverty and to reduce poverty. And so I think it's particularly of concern to people on the Ontario Disability Support Payment programs. As I've told you many times, Jay, and I know many people in the disability community have talked about this, that ODSP payments are far too low for people to survive on, to live a dignified life. The ODSP system forces too many people, into permanent poverty, essentially. And so we're looking at what are effective ways of addressing that, helping people get out of poverty, not penalizing people through clawbacks when they integrate into the workforce, those types of things. And so a basic annual income is a really important step towards addressing that. And though I want to be clear, while yesterday was a really hopeful and important step forward, I mean, at this stage, it's just a discussion paper that the province has put out. But I think it's really important for everyone in the disability community in particular, but people from all across Ontario, to read the paper, submit their comments, give the government feedback, because we want to make sure that we design a basic annual income pilot project that's going to provide the province with the information it needs to put forward an effective program to reduce poverty, as well as making sure that the pilot project programs themselves work for people, and particularly working for people who are working hard to get out of poverty.
I think that's a wonderful initiative because we both know ODSP recipients. I believe they're around $1,100 a month.
That's right. Yeah.
So if you're $1,100 a month and you don't have any support, meaning family, well, it's pretty much $1,000 for rent or $800 or something. So I really commend you. Do you guys have any initiatives that you can share with us, or not yet? It's still at the talking points.
Yeah. So at this point, the discussion paper just came out yesterday, like literally, yesterday afternoon. So I just started reading through it. But Hugh Siegel, former Conservative senator, now at U of T, he's the author of the discussion paper, and Hugh's been one of the leading advocates across Canada, pushing for a basic annual income, guaranteed annual income. So I'm confident in the quality of his research and the quality of the discussion paper. And so really the initiative that we're going to be putting out there is encouraging people to engage in the process, give the government feedback. I'm going to be talking with people about where should pilot projects, where should they happen, how they should be designed, and really how can we most effectively deliver a program to reduce poverty in this province.
Well, I think that's a real good talking point because, as you know, our station now has become a job placement for ODSP recipients. So through our associate Alaware, what we do is we provide Alaware with our needs when it comes to personnel, and Alaware goes out and finds the proper recipients, and then they train them in film and television. And actually, we've just hired on 4 new recipients on the Disability Channel who are all disabled but are quite able. And we love to showcase their abilities. And I'm just thinking, now that you're talking, Mike, like you said, you really do want some hands-on, I guess, results. And who better to have hand-on results than people that are actually on ODSP? Right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
that might be a great way to sort of bridge the gap. And maybe if we can offer any support or any help by actually people who live that life. Because usually the people that live the life, sometimes they have the best ideas.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think it's essential for people who are on ODSP to participate in the design of the pilot projects and the design of the program. I mean, it is critically important for ODSP recipients to be actively involved in ensuring that whatever basic annual income program comes forward meets the needs of the people in the disability community. So I think that's critically important. And Jay, I just want to say how much I really have been impressed with your staff and your team. You're right; they are all able, very able, doing good quality work. And I'm a big advocate for social enterprises, social businesses that employ people who, may have challenges entering the workforce. I've been a big supporter of programs that help the transition of people with disabilities into the workforce. When I was running my own business, we partnered with some service agencies to help employ people with disabilities because we all have something to contribute.
That's right.
And we're all able to contribute. And so I think that those types of programs are really important. So I want to, commend you and your team for the work you're doing in that regard.
I appreciate it. Let me just add that the biggest, I guess, reward for us is when one of our new employees says to me, it's so nice to be in an environment that people understand, our disability in case you're ill. And, it happens. People they're ill. They can't come in, but they can work from home. So we like to say, we are much more than just a TV station. We have a message, and we try to include everybody in our community. And we want them to think this is a place of home for them, too. Again, I think by the two of us and along with the other parties working together, I would love to hear more about the initiative because it's tough, right? It is tough. But there's ways to be innovative and get those results.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I think, a number of communities now have social enterprises, social businesses that are looking at making a profit, and you got the profit to survive, but also looking at other measures of success, social sustainability, environmental sustainability, and financial sustainability. And that's one of the things I love. And inclusion. I mean, inclusion is such an important part of that, and it's one of the things I love about supporting social enterprises, community enterprises. And so one of the things I would love to, carry on a conversation with you, your team, and other people in the disability community in particular is how do we provide more support for businesses that want to employ people with disabilities and ensure that that's an inclusive workspace and that meets the needs of those people who bring their abilities to the table and can make a very valuable contribution to your business, to your enterprise, and to your TV station, if it's a TV station.
I really love that idea. Like we were talking off camera a little bit about that. So again, what we're trying, well, first of all, before we sort of move into that subject, tell our viewers again what that program is called regarding the poverty and the older speed.
Yeah, absolutely. So the province of Ontario yesterday released a discussion paper around a basic annual income, designing a pilot project, and so obviously people who are on Ontario Disability Support Payment will be very interested in participating in the discussion now that's going to happen around how do we design a basic annual income program in Ontario, and in particular right now, how we design pilot projects that provide the information that we need, everyone in Ontario needs, the government needs to design a program. And my hope is we can get these pilots off the ground, get the information we need, and put together a program that really is designed to how do we create the most efficient and effective way to reduce poverty in this province.
And they can find out more information on your website, right?
You can find out information obviously at the GPO website, gpo.ca.
Yeah.
The province of Ontario's website has the report. You can, if you follow me on Twitter at Mike Schreiner or on Facebook, Mike Schreiner, I've posted out links to the report, and you can download a PDF of the report. It's around 180 pages or so, I think. So I'm only about a quarter of the way through it at this point. But anyway, so by all means, through my Twitter feed or my Facebook page, again, at Mike Schreiner or Mike Schreiner on Facebook, I've been sharing links to where you can access the report.
That's great. So let's piggyback on what we were saying afterwards about the next subject, and that is what Mike was saying was what we're doing here at the Disability Channel, and because we're living it, we kind of see the results and see the needs and see the obstacles. One of them is provincial, federal, local, city, they've all stepped up with wage subsidies for persons with disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're bringing on members to our team. It's a great thing. It's a great offer. It's a great program. Unfortunately, the subsidies don't last forever.
Right.
Right? And so what we're doing right now is we're reaching out to the blue chip corporations, let's just say General Motors or Ford or Canadian Tire or,
Mm-hmm.
the list goes on, and Lowe's. And they love the concept of what we're doing. They're all very supportive. They're all team players. The biggest concern they have is, Jay, as a corporation, if we're going to sort of fill in the back end of, say, salaries
Mm-hmm.
and the growth of the channel, which is very much needed for society today, because we should be mainstream like everybody else, like the Pet Network and the Women's Network and every other network. It should be the Disability Channel. They're saying we would love to jump on board your program to further support persons with disabilities in TV, but we as a corporation need to share the news with our shareholders. And at the end of the day, it's the bottom line. And because we are a business, we need some type of reprieve, some type of voucher, somewhere where we can spend our tax dollars wisely, or some other initiative where we can help you, Jay. So that's why it's great that you brought that up, Mike, because that's what we're in the midst right now, of trying to get the ministries, the political world, the corporate world to sort of jump on board and say, this is a great plan, let's help these guys out. And not just us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our reach goes wide. So if you can help us out, we're the voice for the community.
Right. Well, I think it's really important to have a voice for the disability community and to have a space where you can debate these issues and also to get information out to people. As an example, back to the basic income pilot, just, letting people know where to go, how to get the information, how to participate in the process so that the voices of people with disabilities are heard. And that is so critically important. And so, Jay, I'm happy to explore some policy options of how we can design some provincial policies to support social enterprises like yours and others that are employing people with disabilities, bringing what they get, what all your team is able to contribute, and look at ways of how we can provide more support for those kinds of enterprises. And so I'm very, very keen to have that conversation and to do that research and to come up with some innovative solutions.
Well, we're here in studio here with the Ontario Green Party leader, Mike Schreiner. And I have to give a commend and congrats to the Green Party, because as soon as we reached out to you guys, you guys kind of loved our concept, love our idea, and jumped right on board. And you guys really set the table for the rest of the parties to sort of say, hey, let's step up and help this new concept, this new idea. We love it, and we're really helping the one sector that needs support the most. Like, I know everybody needs support, from seniors to youth to different cultures. Everybody needs support, but the persons with disabilities, I would personally say, because I do have a disability, and I'm very lucky because I'm blessed, I don't have a disability that someone else may have, but they really do need the help. And so I have to thank the Green Party for really stepping up.
Well, Jay, it was our pleasure, and I thought it was great. The last time I was on, I think you had representatives from every party on the show, and so I'm hoping that you'll be able to do more of that. I mean, obviously, the Green Party wants all the airtime we can get, but I thought it was great to have every party engaged and be a part of the conversation and talk about the issues facing everyone in Ontario, but in particular people with disabilities.
So let me ask you, I know I probably have so much more to talk about, but I know we have a limited time.
Right.
So what I really want to do is, I think, because obviously politics is just exploding, we won't mention that, we'll talk about that maybe after the break.
Sure.
But I think people are taking a very keen interest now in politics and life in general. So people can go to your website, and I'm sure there's still a lot of people that just don't know really what politics are all about. Right? Like, how do you get selected? How do you get voted? How do you stay in the limelight? How do you actually do productive things for society? So is there easy steps on your website, Mike, or steps on your website where people can go and just learn?
Yeah, absolutely. So gpo.ca is our website. And by all means, go there. One of the things the Green Party is doing, and one of the challenges we face, is that as a political party that does not have an elected MPP at Queen's Park, how do we make a difference? How do we move forward on a policy agenda around our values and our vision for Ontario and the policies that will help us achieve that vision and put those values in place. And so one of the ways we've been doing that is just through grassroots engagement. And so one of the issues we're currently really engaging people on is protecting our water. I mean, our water is just so essential to life. I mean, you can't, yeah, no, that's a big part of it. So one of the things we have going on right now is a letter writing campaign to the Minister of the Environment, addressing some of our concerns around the permit to take water process, which we think is broken. Ontario's water taking rules are broken. We believe that water for communities should have priority over water for corporations, whether that corporation is, like Nestle or an aggregate operation or whatever. That water for communities, for people, for local water usage should be the top priority in the province. The fact that a multinational corporation can outbid a community like Center Wellington for access to water is wrong. And so, my focus isn't to demonize the company as much as it is to say that Ontario, the province of Ontario's water taking rules are broken. The government has to step in and we have to fix these rules to put water for communities first. The other thing we have to do is ensure that corporate users of water pay their fair share. Right now, a company like Nestle, for an example, only pays $3.71 per million. I just want to be really clear, per million liters of water that they take, which only recovers 1.2% of the cost of administering the province's water management programs. So the other 98% is paid for by people like you and me, by citizens through their taxes. And I think, so in a sense, we're almost subsidizing corporate users of water because they're not even, the water taking fees don't even recover the cost of the programs to administer it. That is just outrageous. It's wrong. And so right now, one of the ways we're engaging people is we have an easy form on our website where you can go to gpo.ca and you can we have an easy form. You can send a letter to the minister saying, fix Ontario's broken water taking rules. And then we're also knocking on doors. So actively out knocking on doors. I was just in Guelph last night, which is the riding I'm running in.
Okay.
Last night, I've been like 1-2 nights a week knocking on doors, talking to people at the doorstep, and almost every house when I knock on their door if they're home, almost everyone signs a postcard to send to the minister because people just realize how important our water is. And we can't let ourselves down, but more importantly, we can't let our kids down. That if we fail to protect our water, and so that's why we're so passionate on this issue. But we have a number of issues like that, where we have issue campaigns where people can get involved, either online or at the door or in their community or through media events to talk about issues that'll make a difference in your life.
Let me ask you this, and that's a great point, and I'm just asking this from a viewer point of view or from just Joe Public. How come it seems to Joe Public, and I talk to a lot of people, and they're like you, I'm sure, some of the policies that are in place just don't make sense. Let's take the water policy. They just do not make sense to the average person out there. But they're policies that get passed. And can you tell me, I know you probably can't tell me because you might not know yourself, but why do crazy policies get passed that just don't make sense? Let's just say, for instance, the policy of the water, or let's just say going down to NAFTA or going down to the TPP, where China can import all their products into the U.S. with no tariff, but U.S. can't export their products to China without a tariff. Stuff like that. That doesn't make sense to Joe Average. Can you sort of elaborate on that a little bit, Mike?
Yes, I think there are two issues there that are really important. So one is I think the influence of money in politics sometimes can lead to policy outcomes that are not always necessarily in the public interest. And also just partisan jockeying, like political parties, trying to put forward what makes sense for their own political self-interest. I think that's wrong.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the reasons the Green Party's been leading the charge to get big money out of Ontario politics. We led the charge to end corporate and union donations to political parties, to lower donation limits, so people with deep pockets, can't buy access to political leaders. We're pushing hard to lower spending limits, so the amount of money political parties can spend on their campaigns to even the level, have a more level playing field, and also bringing in and public funding of political parties. So we have a vote to play system where through your vote you can direct a donation. Everyone in Ontario can direct a donation to the political party they support, rather than the current system we have right now, which is a pay-to-play system where wealthy people can donate money to political parties and get very generous tax credits for that.
Or incentives or
exactly.
favors.
Yeah.
Now,
And so we're trying to put an end to that. And so that's the first one. The second one is sometimes you have, like in the case of water, sometimes you have legislation that was passed so long ago that 30 years ago that the permit to take water system, maybe it made sense 30 years ago. It doesn't make sense today. And what really aggravates me, for over a decade now, between the Environment Commissioner of Ontario, citizens groups like Wellington Water Watchers, and the Drummond Report even, all have pointed out ways in which that the water taking system is broken, that we aren't charging water users, corporate water users, a fair share for the water they do use. And for a decade now, the government sort of ignored the fact that we need to change it. And so this is why it's so important for citizens to speak out. And why I'm very proud of the role the Green Party's played in putting pressure on the Liberals to say, hey, for a decade you've been told that the system is broken. We want it fixed now.
That makes great sense. Now, one more thing before we take a quick break, and then we're just going to get into a little bit of general stuff.
Sure.
Sports and what's going on. But before I do, can you tell our viewers, does it work the same way the Canadian political system is down in the States with the lobbyists? Do we have lobbyists up here?
We do have lobbyists in Canada. I would say that the influence of money in politics is not as bad in Canada as it is in the U.S. I mean, the U.S. is the Wild West of money in politics, and thankfully we don't have that system here. There is a lobby registry, so if you want to lobby either the provincial or federal government, you have to register as a lobbyist. That registry is publicly available with information about what clients you're representing, et cetera, et cetera. There are some laws around a cooling off period if you are, let's say, an MP or an MPP, a certain amount of time after you retire to when you can become a lobbyist, that kind of thing. I would like to see that time longer because we don't want to have a revolving door. Particularly in the U.S., you have a revolving door of people who worked in government and then worked as a lobbyist for industry and back and forth. We have a bit of that in Canada as well, not near as bad as the U.S. And so tightening the rules around that, I think, is important. Tightening the rules around just what the Integrity Commissioner can investigate. Those are important changes that we're pushing for. And it's all really about, we want a politics that's about, the Green Party wants a politics that's about honesty, integrity, and good public policy.
Fine for the people, right?
Absolutely. It's got to be for the people.
Okay, we'll leave it at that note. We're going to take a quick break. And we're here with the Ontario leader of the Green Party, Mike Schreiner. We've just been talking policies and politics. So before we go, Mike, give out your website again.
Yeah, so if you want to learn more about the Green Party, you can go to gpo.ca. You can follow the Green Party at Ontario Greens, Facebook Ontario Greens. For me personally, at Mike Schreiner, and Mike Schreiner on Facebook.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and just lighten things up a bit and just talk a little bit about the Blue Jays and the World Series, the Leafs, and whatever else going on in today's hot topic. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back with the News Hour.
When it comes to our health and our fitness, and then the word we use now is postural fitness, I think you need all the help you can get. Pro football trainers or doctors recommend this to my sons, and they're professional athletes, and I think it's good enough for them, then it's something I can try too. And I've been to physical therapists, and they recommend alignment. I've been introduced to neurobands, and it's not anything that limits what I do, but I know there's benefit there. I think it gives me comfort, but it gives me confidence as I'm trying to improve my posture. One of the things I've learned is what we call the postural fitness. That's kind of a starting point right there. Wearing the alignment is just improved my life. Well, after years of football, I had a few injuries and I had some surgeries. You don't just bounce back from those things, so any help I can get along the way, I'm all for it. To be able to have a product that I'm just wearing, well, I feel like I'm wearing my workout. It makes me feel better. It's been helpful to me. I wear one when I work out. I wear one when I play golf. Certainly something that's recommended by doctors or physical therapists, if it's good enough for them, it sure ought to work for us. People riding on airplanes, behind computers, sitting behind a desk. This is for the common person out there that pays attention to their posture. You know, as we get older, we all have ailments. I think along the way we can do things to make age stand still a little bit. So I just tried to put a real emphasis on my postural fitness.
Hello, I'm Lawrence with New Bandage Technology, and we're here with Brian.
Hi, my name is Brian Frost. I'm a physical therapist with core rehabilitation and sports medicine. And we're here with Sophia. Sophia's been using the New Bandage Technology, and here she's a post-op ACL reconstruction about 3.5 to 4 weeks out from her surgery. And I've really seen the New Bandage has made a dramatic impact in its recovery time, allowing to accelerate her recovery speed and get her back into the exercises that are more functional for her, thereby allowing her to regain her muscle use and activation. The biggest thing that's done for her is that it's minimized the swelling post-operative and allowed her quad muscle to stay active so that we didn't have to spend the first 4 to 6 weeks of therapy reactivating the quad and stabilizing the knee. We've been able to do that in with just a few sessions, and it also gives her that compression that she needs so that she can move forward with these exercises. And that's exactly what you would want from a device like this.
Brian, thanks so much.
Absolutely.
It's been a pleasure working with you.
Thank you.
I'd like to share with you today new and exciting technology in wound care and a revolutionary way for you to treat your patients. My name is Lawrence Rinke, inventor at New Bandage Technology. Let's take a closer look. New Bandage is a one-piece, mold-injected thermoplastic elastomer that holds sub-bandages and other medical devices in place without the use of tapes, adhesives, or fasteners. New Bandage is not absorbent. It's hand washable, it's sanitizable, it's fast, reliable, and easy to apply. New Bandage is an excellent strategy for burns, skin grafts, wound care, and perfect for our elderly and our children. There's no fasteners, no buckles, no tapes, no adhesives, there's no latex, there's no discomfort, and it's waterproof. Unlike traditional cloth bandages that trap body heat and perspiration, New Bandage allows for excellent airflow with easy access and visibility to the affected area. And it's perfect for patients who have vascular and sensitive skin issues.
We always recommend to use a non-adherent cotton dressing between the new bandage and the skin for additional comfort and moisture control. So easy to apply. New Bandage is a padded bandage system. Clean and dress affected area. Hold new bandage vertically and open the top end with both hands. Roll the bandage up, creating a donut shape. Stretch the bandage from the center and place over affected area. Roll the bandage over the dressing. Adjust the bandage so the air holes are equal in size and shape. Ensure that New Bandage is centered over the affected area. New Bandage, the ideal choice.
I invite you to visit us at our website at newbandage.com.
Welcome back to the News Hour. I'm your anchor, Jay Stoyan. In the studio today, we have the leader of the Ontario Green Party, Mike Schreiner. We just talked all about policies regarding what we're going to do for poverty and ODSP, what's going on with the water crisis, and just policy in general, how people will get involved or learn more about. You can go to the Ontario Green website. We'll give that before Mike leaves his segment today. But we're going to lighten it up, and we're just going to talk life in general, get away from some politics.
Sure.
And just give me your thoughts, I guess, on the World Series, what's going on with the crisis in the NFL and, of course, our beloved Leafs?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, as a Jays fan, it was tough to lose out in the American League Championship Series. I just can't quite figure out what happened to the Jays bats.
Couldn't get them going.
Couldn't get them going. I mean, especially after we did so well against Texas and that dramatic game against Baltimore. But you know what? I feel good about the future of the Jays. They have an amazing starting staff. We have a lot of talent still in the lineup, even though the bats went quiet.
Did we miss our window?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they do with Bautista and Edwin and Eddie.
Yeah.
You know, I'm hoping they're both back. I think it's going to be tough to bring them both back. I guess we'll see what the free agent market looks like. But I don't think we've missed our window because we have a great starting pitching staff. And the bats are there. We've got, you know, between Donaldson and Tulo and you know, Pilar plays amazing defense. Like I think there's a good foundation for a winning team.
And you can't complain too much. We've been in the playoffs 2 years in a row.
That's right.
So that's what it's kind of all about.
That's right.
Just compete,
Yeah.
right? Compete,
Yeah.
compete. What are your thoughts on the World Series? Did you were you baseball out by, or did you
No.
watch it?
I watched the World Series. I tell you what, I admit in Game 7, I had to be up on the and on the radio at 7:30 the next morning, and I watched until they rolled the tarps out for the rain delay. And it pained me, but I just was like, I can't stay up any later because I got to be up early. So I missed the dramatics of that 10th inning.
If it was the Jays, you would have stayed.
Oh, if it was the Jays, I would have stayed for sure.
Yeah.
But, you know, hey, congratulations to Cubs fans. I mean, you know, to go 108 years without a World Series makes suffering Leafs fans seem like nothing, right?
Now that's a good segue. Let's talk a little bit about our beloved Leafs.
Sure.
How do you feel? What's your feeling on them?
Yeah, you know what? A lot of great young talent, eh? You know, Marner, Matthews. You know, I think they're going to make a great combination. And of course, we have the best coach in the NHL. And so, you know, I think this year is going to be a bit rocky. It's going to have a young team. You know, you're going to have your ups and downs. But I think the future looks bright for the Leafs. It's the first time in a long time I'm really excited about the future of the Leafs.
Very excited for myself too. Like everybody in Toronto is a Leaf fan. We bleed blue. But for the last couple of years, it's been very difficult because you knew they weren't going anywhere. But it's very hard not to vote for your team. So for myself, the last couple of years, I tried almost just to tune in, but not get too up or down. Just sort of, you know, stay Leaf fan, but not really pay much attention. Like, this is the first year I've really enjoyed watching the games over the last couple of years, right? Because we do have some really good talent, but the coaching system, like our brass, like just to add to that, I was at the Marlies game. Last week, one of our hosts, Jeff Bourne, whose dad is Bob Bourne.
Oh, okay.
So
wow.
he does a show for us in BC, and he was here to see his brother who works for the Marlies.
Yeah.
So I got invited to the private box, the Marlies box, and right beside us in the next box, and riding up in the elevator with us was Mike Babcock.
Oh, really?
Yeah, then he goes into the booth next door, and I see Mike Babcock. There's Lou.
Right.
And there's Shanahan.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
So one of the guys that invited me to the game, he's from Saskatchewan. He grew up with Mike Babcock.
Okay.
So we were talking. It was kind of surreal.
Yeah, I bet.
And the Marlies won, and it was just great. So I just wanted to add into that. Let's move on a little bit about. I don't know if you've been following the NFL much about the controversy, because it's such a behemoth league that nothing usually goes wrong, but this year.
Yeah. Well, you know, I have to admit, I'm more of a baseball, basketball, hockey fan. I do follow football a bit. You know, I think. The TV ratings are way down for the NFL. And so I'm just wondering if some of that is just all the controversies there's been around, like domestic violence issues, you know, the controversies around concussions and you know, just, you know, the fact that fewer and fewer kids are starting to play football. I mean, I played football when I was a kid. And you know, we didn't think about it. And now all these concerns around lifetime injuries, particularly concussions, I think it's probably affecting the game.
Well, all the controversies are catching up. Started with the Deflategate with Tom Brady.
That's right. They
suspended him for 4 games, which is ridiculous. It was just a power struggle, and Roger Goodell won. And then the domestic abuse with Ray Rice, and now there's another one that just came out. And actually, yesterday for the Philadelphia Eagles, one of the players got stopped with a gun that wasn't registered, and with a small amount of drugs on him. And so I think it's just catching up, along with obviously the Colin Kaepernick
Right.
taking the knee during the anthem. Whether you agree with that, it's very controversial.
That's right.
Right? And I think finally that people have they're starting to speak up, and they've had enough of I think maybe you want to see the unprofessionalism of the league and what they allow their players to get away with. Like, I think they're a little backwards. They don't want you to celebrate too much in the end zone, but they sort of put domestic abuse brush it under the rug to a certain degree.
Yeah.
I think they have a little bit of their priorities mixed up, and it's actually good to see. It's good to see that the NFL is not too big to fail.
Right. Though it's my understanding that they still have the largest TV audience of all the sports. So they have I think it's still a successful brand.
Oh.
And I'm a Packers fan. So what I love about the Packers is, one, their uniforms are green.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. No, what I love about the Packers is they're a community-owned team.
They are,
and that is unique for professional sports. And I think they are the only, or at least the only in the major North for sure. And so I just think it's neat that a town as small as Green Bay can support a professional sports team in one of the major sports. And, do it because the community's rallied behind the team.
I think that's a great point. Unfortunately, I'm a Dolphin fan, so I don't.
Things are tough for you, eh?
They've been tough since Marino.
That's right,
Marino
exactly.
left,
It's been a long time since the Dolphins have been good.
But, Mike, I want to thank you for coming on the show
today.
My pleasure. Again, you can reach Mike. You can go to his Twitter, at Mike Schreiner. You can go to at the Ontario Green Party Twitter. Right. Your website. Give out your website again.
Yeah, gpo.ca is our website. You can get our policies there and the issue campaigns that we're working, and how you can get involved.
That's great, Mike. We really appreciate it. What we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break, and then to come back and just talk a little bit about personal feelings or just what's going on with a little bit of other things in the news today. And you'll see Mike next month. He's going to come back for a segment. And we're going to be having the other parties. I believe Bill Walker from the PC party is going to be joining us next month again. He's going to be starting his segment, and then hopefully get the NDP and Liberals on, because we're all working together. We all want to support and improve persons with disabilities and their lives. So thanks again for tuning in. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with the News Hour.
Having my grandkids over is the highlight of my day. But it isn't all hugs and cookies. I also get to help raise them and teach good habits. I call it Grandma's Training Program. Whether it's safety in the backyard, no, or staying clean, don't forget to use soap, or monitoring video game use. And I don't just mean limiting the amount they play. We all spend more and more time on these little devices, and it can be really bad on our spine. Not long ago, I had neck surgery, and it was during my physical therapy that another patient introduced me to the ab collar. I used the ab collar during my recovery to remind me to have good posture during my daily exercises. And now it's an important part of Grandma's training program. The ab collar is lightweight, portable, and easy to put on. But best of all, it serves as a great training tool to teach the boys how they're supposed to sit while playing their video games. And now I hardly ever have to remind them at all. I want to help my grandsons grow up healthy and strong and make good decisions. And the ab collar is helping me do that.
Life has a way of throwing you curveballs. Sometimes you're lucky enough to see it coming. Other times it just hauls off and hits you in the face without warning. When my second child was born and turned out to be special needs, that was a curveball that neither my first wife nor I saw coming. However, it's not the fact that life saw fit to hit us with this challenge that matters. It's the daily struggle to adapt and overcome that makes us who we are. Being both a blended family and one with a special needs child definitely makes some days a real challenge to navigate successfully. It takes a full measure of teamwork from everyone involved to make the family work. Most days, we don't have it all together, but together, we have it all.
I think it's important to be a part of an organization that also will support you in your education as well as in the community.
OPSWA advocate helping PSW. They OPSWA help voice out the voice of the PSW to be heard all over Canada.
Now they're talking about different things that can help us PSWs, like autism and Asperger's. This is new education that we need, that we don't get in school as a PSW.
The conference is helping me today by teaching me about all the other programs offered to PSWs and through OPSWA that I had no idea about before, and all the other programs that I could specialize in or that could help me in my field after this.
My name is Miranda Ferrier, and I'm the president of the Ontario Personal Support Worker Association, and we want to invite you to come out to our conference. At our conference, we celebrate personal support workers, and we understand how important you are to the healthcare field. So come out and join us. You're going to have a great time.
Welcome back to the News Hour. I'm your anchor, Jay Stoyan. We just had on a very lengthy and very informative segment with the Ontario Green Party leader, Mike Schreiner. Just a wealth of knowledge when it comes to policy. We really have to congratulate the Green Party. We believe it's really a party for the people. So again, I want to thank Mike, and I want to thank Becky and Samantha for helping us out here. You'll see Mike again next month with his monthly segment. We'll update him, but also you can always go to his Twitter and see at Mike Schreiner, or go to the Ontario Green Party website and just catch some updates, because it's really important that the public does get involved now with the politics, because it just seems to be everywhere these days talking about that. Before I do want to get there, I want to give a big shout out to our Twitter followers. Thank you for retweeting us, from Dorothy to Deborah to Jeff to just the gang out there. So again, you can join us live, www.thedisabilitychannel.ca. We're live right now. You can also please do join Roku TV, which is a free subscription. We're worldwide, based out of the States, but obviously we're here in Canada. So we're doing a lot of good things. And actually, if you want to find out more information on Roku TV, you can also email me at jstoyan, J-A-Y, at thedisabilitychannel.ca. It's a great form of, it's a great platform, new media platform, digital media platform that goes worldwide. So if you're looking to get added exposure to your videos, to your company, goods and services, do email me. You can find me on Twitter at jstoyan. We also have a Facebook page and LinkedIn, so we're all over the place. We're growing by the day. I want to thank everybody for the support. Let's get into what I guess just is dwarfing the news these days, and that's the U.S. politics between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. What can you say? There's so much to say. The country is so divided. They each have their own issues, from Hillary Clinton being investigated by the FBI ×2. How a person can be eligible to run for the presidency who's under an FBI investigation is just beyond me. We'll see what happens. The big next Tuesday's the big day, so get out your vote. Regarding Donald Trump, it's really remarkable how a man with no political experience cleaned up in the primary with the Republicans, and it looks like he might be the next U.S. president for 2017, as his poll numbers are skyrocketing. Hillary Clinton with all her scandals, now with Anthony Weiner. Like, that is just absurd. And Donald Trump called this back in August. He said that if you think Huma Abedin, who is Hillary Clinton's right-hand arm, she doesn't do anything without Huma Abedin, who's married to Anthony Weiner. And Donald Trump was bang on when he said back in August, if you think Huma Abedin is not sharing secrets with Anthony Weiner, who just cannot keep a secret, obviously check out his Twitter account. If you think he's not sharing classified or very important information with Anthony Weiner, you're wrong. Lo and behold, he got charged, or he's under investigation for sharing tweets. I don't even want to get into why, but now they have his laptop, and on the laptop is information, classified information, email exchanges between Hillary Clinton and the State Department and Huma Abedin, and lo and behold, it's big. It's big. Now, going on the other side, Donald Trump, I mean, as a first-time candidate and as a New York tycoon who is just death, it's for the throat when you're living in New York and you're building those skyscrapers.
So I think what he did, obviously, was bring his bravado, his sort of personality to the world stage. And he got in trouble a little bit because some of the things that he has been saying, now he hasn't said it lately, so I assume he's learning that you just can't say some of these things. And I have to say, we try and be fair and balanced here. For me personally, I would never respect somebody who's a proven liar or a crook. And on the other side, if you're Donald Trump, because I'm not a female, I don't think I am anyways, I cannot sort of relate to a female's point of view because some of the things that he said regarding females and ladies are quite disgusting. So it's not for me to be the voice for a female because I don't know what they're thinking in their head. Unfortunately, or fortunately, when you vote for a candidate to be president, you're not voting for a pasture and you're not voting for a dad. You're voting for a leader of the country who can protect you, who can provide an income for you, and has a vision. And Donald Trump has had a vision for 40 years in his business. It's a multi-billion-dollar business, global business, private citizen, made his own money, employs, I believe, 22,000 people a year of all creeds and races and culture. Hillary Clinton, on the other hand, has been a public spokesperson for the last 40 years, paid by us, the tax dollars, people. And from what you see in her emails, thanks to WikiLeaks, whatever you think of WikiLeaks, whether or not it was the Russians or not, but emails speak for themselves. And inside those emails, she is absolutely not like she appears to the world. She has one set of rules for her friends and another set of rules for the public. But again, we don't want to pick sides. So the best thing to do is get out and vote. Change is needed in the States. Whether or not Donald Trump can bring that change, well, I guess that's where you have to throw the dice. Or you stay with Hillary Clinton and you kind of know what you're getting, more lies and more corruption in DC. So when the politicians in the media start their fear-mongering on Donald Trump, like we could never have this man in office, he's going to destroy the world. No. You know what he's going to destroy? He's going to destroy your jobs in DC, and he's going to destroy the media. So they're not looking out for the public. They're looking out for themselves and their own jobs because nothing happens in DC. I don't think Washington, D.C. has had a recession for 50 years, right? All the politicians, nothing happens to them. They don't even go on Obamacare. They have their own health system. And Obamacare, isn't that a disaster with premiums going up at least 25%? In Arizona, they're going up 116%. So I think it's changed, and I think Donald Trump is just in the right place at the right time. Whether or not you like him, you vote for him, you either vote for Hillary or you vote for Donald, or you don't vote. So you got to get out and vote. And good luck, because it's a real thriller this year. Again, we're going to see what happens on Tuesday. Let's move it along a little bit. Again, I want to thank Alware for just providing us with so much support. Frank, he's a wonderful man. He has a wonderful staff team here. We're out here at College Street. And what we're doing now is we're actually saying what we wanted to do all along. Now, it's taken us some time. We've had to jump over some obstacles, some hurdles. But what we're doing now is we are employing persons with disabilities on television. We've just brought on 4 recent new employees, so we're very excited. And we do need the support of the corporate world, because I tell you one thing, and I'm being disabled myself, I can sort of speak, not for the community, but speaking from my own experience and the people I've met over the years who are also disabled. Just give them a chance. Give them a chance, give them an opportunity, and I believe me, they will blow your mind. They just want an opportunity to get out of the house and go to work and make a living. They want to make a living. They do not want to be on government assistance. They do not want to be on ODSP. They want to be a standalone people doing their own thing. And here at the Disability Channel is where we're going to do that for people. So again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Again, you can find us www.thedisabilitychannel.ca. Join us on Roku, a free subscription, and you can tweet me at @JStoyan. We're live right now. I want to thank our team. I want to thank Devin. I want to thank Brad and Samantha, wonderful tech people who take care of me. They may actually make me look good on TV. So again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. You've just watched the News Hour. I'm your anchor, Jay Stoyan, and we'll see you next time. Have a safe and prosperous weekend.